bring knowledge and create a discussion on how what is the responsibility of the state in responding to cyber attack when it's not only on a specific organization, but rather on multiple organizations that creates a dramatic impact on the state. So the way we see this discussion, it has two purposes. One is we want to see if we are making this discussion as if we are in 2019, and we want to see what will be the potential gaps between implementing the state's cybersecurity policy, which was released in September 2016, and what needs to be done in order to minimize the risk, because the responsibility of the state is different than the responsibility of organizations in protecting, in doing cybersecurity. Because the state has tools that organizations do not have. For example, the state has law enforcement. The state can retaliate. The state can apply rules. The state can create cooperation between organizations in order to share intelligence. And those types of tools are vital in order to create a better secured ecosystem, and this is exactly what we want to do. So we want to put people around the table, the decision makers, and discuss response mechanisms, retaliation, how the state will be providing support to attack organizations. How will the state create deterrence? Whether we will create deterrence by punishing those who attack us, or whether we will create deterrence by creating a more secure organization, what we call deterrence by denial. It will be too hard to attack, so we will go attack somewhere else. And those issues that we will examine will be focused in order to understand whether the gaps exist between the states. Four pillars of the policy exist, and those four pillars stand on regulation, the compliance and enforcement, the capacity building that the state needs in order to have better defense and better cyber warriors. When we look at the use of terrorist organizations of the internet, there are two types of usages. One is for communications, recruiting, communicating between themselves. And this is one thing. The other thing we should be worried about much more is the use of those exact terrorist organizations to create damage, for disruption, to disrupt our own IT systems. Now, theoretically, cyber terror should not exist. And in reality, we have not seen a lot of examples of major cyber terrorism. Why? Because terror is the use of force to create political change. By fear, creating a lot of fear, great fear. Now, in order to create a very sophisticated cyber attack, for example, like attacking the grid, electrical grid, or killing people, you need a lot of knowledge, a lot of patience, a lot of capabilities, and more specifically, a lot of intelligence, which most terror organizations do not have yet. Therefore, we have not seen many cases, or very rare cases, of the use of terrorist organizations like ISIS, Hezbollah, Global Jihad, to create damage and disruption. We will start to see them because we are now witnessing an increased cooperation between terrorist organizations and criminals, and more specifically organized crime. They have the knowledge, they have the motivations because they steal money. And they have the relationship with terrorist organizations, and this is something very dangerous. The way to deal with it is by doing two things. One is exactly what my colleague said, better security, better cyber hygiene. Two is intelligence. We need to know what they're planning in order to hit them before they hit us. And that's something very sophisticated because this type of intelligence requires very, very deep understanding of what they can do. And of course, again, it goes back to the role of the state. Understanding what they can do within the network that they are going to attack. And I don't know a lot of organizations that would let the state come in and look at their network just like that. It requires regulation and trust. Trust that it takes time to build. This is why I think Telangana state is doing the right thing. The policy is exactly what needs to be done. I mean, I was the secretary of the Israeli cybersecurity policy in 2011, And those are pretty much the same foundations that we've laid. It takes a lot of time to build this type of relationship.